My dog's somewhere downstairs.
Oh, we are live. Okay, hold up now.
My dog's somewhere downstairs.
All right, see, here we go. It's been a while since I've done this, so who are we kidding? I do this every freaking time. So anyway, hi.
Hello.
So welcome to So Get This. We're back after a very, very, very long hiatus, and I'm here with the beautiful Breanne Frattaroli, who is the owner and proprietor and designer of Breezy Strings and Things. Say hi.
Hi, Jenny. Hello, YouTube. I'm so excited to be here.
So excited to have you. So why don't you tell us what you've got going on behind you there?
Okay, well, I have some of my favorite things. I have my little, I think they're called amigurumi. I always say it wrong. I always get the M and the R confused, and then I just sound funny. My little crochet things. So I have two nieces. These are some of my favorite things that I like to make for them because they love to play with them. They're soft, they're squishy. I have a few of these in my shop. I've also been making jewelry for a long time, but mostly just for me, like me and my mom and my friends and her friends. And it just was finally kind of time where I was like, let's see if other people like this. And I did a craft show last year and loved it and decided it was time to open up an Etsy shop. And I have to say, you were a really big inspiration for me because I saw you at the conventions and I saw you, well, 1.5 so far because Seattle kind of got canceled. I saw how much fun you had and how like your jewelry really speaks to me. And I thought, that's how I feel when I make a piece. So I want to make other people feel that way too. So I have a whole bunch of necklaces. You can probably see if I turn just a little bit hanging up here. Some of these are in my shop. Some of them are not yet, but they will be. And then I am going to do a couple giveaways because we were talking about how sometimes people like free stuff. I happen to love free stuff, and I'm going to give away, when someone knows the answer to a right question, a little bee on a keychain. He doesn't have, or she doesn't have her little keychain yet, but she will soon, for an easy question, hopefully an easy question. And then if they're paying attention, someone can win one of my necklaces, and I designed these beads here. So I bought the triangles and I did everything on the inside. So it's kind of like my special ones.
That is stunning,
Oh,
stunning work. And I always say this to a lot of my friends who are, they know how to knit and they know how to crochet, like Linda, who is watching us. Right, Linda? Yeah. I'm looking up here because that's where the chat window is for me. So if you see me looking up there and talking, I'm actually talking to another monitor where the chat.
I have the one laptop, and there's my, I know that if I look down, I look like my eyes are closed. And so I'm trying to look up at the screen, but I've never done this before. I'm not online. I'm barely social media literate. So I'm getting there.
I've been doing this for a very long time and I'm still social media illiterate. I know how to Twitter and sometimes I can Instagram, but I'm still a Facebook moron. I don't know how to Snapchat. And if there are other things out there, there's Tumblr. I don't really know how to do that.
I've tried Tumblr, but it's really confusing. I'm like, where do I go? And then you kind of fall into the black hole of Tumblr, and then you just can't get out. So
exactly. It's like that in Pinterest. It's like a rabbit hole, and you just go. And yeah, I mean, not that it's a bad rabbit hole to fall into, because sometimes I find some really cool things to distract myself with. But
and I've actually seen some of your designs, like older designs on Pinterest, because I was like, I wonder what she used to do. And I typed in, Alden's Fantasy, and all these must be retired designs popped up. And I'm like, where do I get that one? So especially this week when you were running your contest, you had some older designs, like it must have been the hug, because I hadn't seen that one before. Yeah. And the other one I got was Cass's head tilt. I hadn't seen that one because I really only met you last year at the Giving Back tour. So it hasn't been that long. And I'm like, I want all of these pieces. So I was so excited when some of them came back. I, it's like a trigger for me every time I see new tweet from Jody, or something. I'm like, oh, maybe she's got something new, and I run onto Etsy and spend more money. So
It's
yeah,
called retail therapy.
yeah. I'm like, if people were to see how much I bought from your shop, they'd be like, wow, she needs a lot of therapy. But it's really just, I keep finding these designs that are so cool, and I can't help myself.
Well, thank
So
you. I
yeah,
appreciate that. I really do. And, to talk about your venture in Etsy now. So
yeah.
so let's talk about the name of your shop. Where did the name come from?
Well, so I'm Breanne, and everybody likes to play with my name, and nobody ever gets it right, and that's okay because I've been Brianna. They spell it wrong. Like usually, if I spell my name like Bre, because it's Breanne, and I don't care who gets it wrong. Like it's no problem. But finally, people kept getting it wrong so much, so like we're just gonna call you Breezy because we can't screw that up. And if we do, it's not really your name. So I'm like, whatever. And it stuck for, I mean, it's probably been like 15 years. Every time I need a name for something, it's just been Breezy. Although my Twitter handle is Wayward Bree, because at the time I was at the Supernatural convention when I created my Twitter account. So I had to pick something supernatural related. So Breezy's just kind of been a nickname. Strings and Things was, I knew that I wasn't going to just do jewelry. I knew that it wasn't going to just be necklaces or just be bracelets. Because I had started making these little bees, and I love Misha Collins in season 7 of Supernatural when he watches the bees. That is, I will literally watch those 3 episodes on a loop when I'm having a bad week, just to make me smile because that iconic line, how important is lipstick to you? When he says that to Dean in the car, and Dean just rolls his eyes. So the bees were something where I just thought, I can do this, and if I start selling these, I can do something good with them. So anything from my crochet that I sell is going to go to help children. So mostly medical wise. I recently had a child in my life who we were worried that might really need some medical help. And she, thank God, is turning out fine. We're still in the let's see what happens phase, but not my child. I have a fur baby. And she's somewhere in the house. She's probably mad at me because I'm not cuddling with her right now. But to know that parents go through that with their children, and to know how much it costs, I thought, this is just a little tiny something I can do that I enjoy and that I want to do. So anybody who buys like something like these guys from my shop, I'm going to keep just enough money to make another one. And the profits are going to go either, I thought St. Jude, maybe if there's, I live in Metro Detroit, a place in Metro Detroit that helps families. That's what I want to do with those. So those were some of the strings. And they're kind of things too. Also, I brought this up because I also oh my God, I sew like a mad woman. I love to sew. I made a neck pillow for when I travel.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
and it's Wonder Woman, because who doesn't love Wonder Woman?
And
And
it's
I thought
vintage Wonder Woman at that.
it's fantastic. And I mean, this was like a remnant at Joann's, and I didn't know what to do with it, and it just sparked on me after a plane trip. So I thought, other people might like this. So again, that's a thing. So, besides the necklaces, which are strings, and these, which are strings, I'm going to have things in there. I think it's just going to be kind of whatever I feel like making. So, it's my name with everything in it. So I
Well, I
tried
mean,
to be
it's
as
you.
all encompassing as I could be. So,
It's you, right? I mean, that's why, like, when my friend Janet was first setting up her shop, Ray Guns and Rust, she was trying to think of, she was thinking along the same lines as you. I'm going to be doing jewelry, but I'm also going to be doing other things too.
mm-hmm.
So her tagline is unique items by Janet Jordan. That way she's not pigeonholing herself into just jewelry, just this or
Yeah.
just that. It's, yeah, it covers the whole nine.
And
And like Linda just said, things is totally encompassing. Correct.
you really can't go wrong with that. And I was trying to make it rhyme and be kind of cutesy and just something that was a little catchy. And it was actually really, really hard. My mom was trying to help me. And oh, and look, here comes my dog finally. Come on,
Oh, let's see.
come on. She's an old lady. I gotta pick her up. This is Abby. Tell her to look at the
Oh,
camera. She's 13 years old, and she's my fur baby. So she
oh,
finally decided it's okay to come sit by me. But I love Janet's shop too, and it's very the stuff that's in there is really unique, but it opens it up to everything. You know, that type of name, and even yours does, because you have the whole fantasy part, but it's
mhm.
not like okay, I'm gonna be I not dorky enough. Eldrin is from Zelda, right?
No,
No.
actually, it's a lot more cornball than you think.
Okay.
It's it's really it's weird. It's okay. So many years ago, I had a dream where someone was calling me that, and it just didn't seem weird to me. It seemed like, yeah, that was my name. I didn't question it,
There you
and
go.
yeah, that was it. It was a weird ass dream. I probably had way too much to drink the night before. Don't know, but in my dream, that was my name. Okay, and
Well, that
yeah,
works.
that was the cornball root of it. But
I thought I'd heard it somewhere else before, so that's maybe why I was thinking Zelda, but I don't know. So I like your version better. It
thank
literally
you.
came to you.
Came out of this mess in here, and that's what's good about it is when you Google it, I'm the only one.
You are. Yeah, because I when I first looked you up, you were it.
Oh, Linda said it always reminds her of an elfish queen. Thank you, Linda.
Maybe that's why I thought Zelda, you know? I don't
Maybe.
know. Yeah, could be. My brain works in mysterious ways too. So
At least your brain works,
sometimes,
right?
sometimes
Yeah. I, I try not to give people the impression that mine works too much because, you know, I have a reputation to uphold. So, yeah. But Linda also pointed out, and if I can say this right, then I'm taking a shot of something later. It's amigurumi. Is that what the word is?
yes,
Okay.
it is. Amigurumi, the crocheting of cute little animals. At least that's my definition. So, and
It's
I love the
adorable.
bees. Like for me, and even I mentioned to you earlier, I am doing Gish, and you know the first email that Misha sends us is about his little worker bees, you know, out there doing good in the world, and I'm like, it fits. I love them, and to think I used to be scared of them, and now I rescue them from my pool. You know, now I see a bee, and I'm like, I run over it with like the net, and I'm like, it's okay, little guy, come on, get out of there. And yeah, I used to run screaming, and now I'm trying to pet the big bumblebees, and yeah, I don't usually. I get there and then I come right back.
Well, I saw there was a video, and I wish my son, my 14-year-old son, showed it to me. There was a woman in England who found a wingless bee, or one of her wings was missing, and
Oh,
nursed it back to health, and it stayed with her. It would like just walk up and down her arm, hang out with her, and like it was her buddy. It was
that
the
is so
cutest
sweet.
thing. Yeah,
Oh,
I love bees. I think they're cute.
well, and literally our world would disappear without them.
That's
So
true. That's
we
fact.
have we have to have the bees. We have to save the bees. So,
If you can't save the bees, at least watch the bees.
exactly. Follow their path. So, pull out random bags of honey from your pocket. So,
I collected it myself.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. So
So
tell
how?
me,
Oh, go ahead.
oh no, I was going to say, you mentioned Gish. So this is your first time doing Gish, correct?
Yeah. I figured since it's the last season, I'm sure they're going to keep doing Gish. I mean, I can't. I mean, there's like 60,000 people who participate. I can't imagine that they're going to be like, show's over, we're all done. But I figure since it's the last year with the show running, they might do some really cool things. And the mascot is an ass butt. So it's literally a donkey with butterfly wings, but it's an ass butt. So I can't. I'm gonna get the plushie, and I just cannot wait to have that little ass butt sit on my shelf. So yeah, I decided to do it my first year. I got put on a team. Go Chubby Unicorns! Uh, we are in it to win it, and I think we're gonna do a really good job. It's honestly today's been insane. So not only have I been like nervous for this because okay, as bubbly as I am, I'm still like, oh my god, people are going to see me and I'm online, and I get a little scared, but also Gish has been happening, so I've been like messaging back and forth with the team on who's going to do what and all this stuff, and they are just so much fun and such a blast, and a lot of them are in Michigan, which is nice. We have a few out of state people, but I really hope I get to meet every single one in person because they're already just so cool. And like when people say I make lifetime friends, like I can already see our team going that way because they're all so cool, and we're
That's
drawing pictures
wonderful.
and having fun and
It looks like a couple of your teammates are here. We've got Annie Prince
yay,
and
hi Annie.
Sarah Armstead.
Hi, Sarah.
And Annie's saying, woohoo, chubby unicorns. And it looks like Sarah has managed to find a unicorn and a rhino.
Yes. Yes. So
What's
that's
that?
well, that's essentially what a chubby unicorn is. It's a rhinoceros. So we
Oh,
want to, we want to save the unicorns that are left. They just happen to be gray and chubby. So it's
baby
see,
rhinos are
Sarah
the
had
cutest thing.
a really good story on how she named the team. It was I can't remember. She said she read or saw about a certain type of rhinoceros that was either being going extinct or something like that. And I read it and I thought that's so cool when we were, talking back and forth. I just can't remember it all right now. So I'm sorry, Sarah. And, but it's such a great thing because the unicorn is used in Supernatural. There's also a unicorn floaty that's being sent out to people with the package. So, I mean, it's totally like, I think they just built it for our team. They know we're going to win. And they want to give us something to make us keep going, and, and it's got one horn, so it's perfect. It's a unicorn. It's great.
That's awesome. That is so awesome. Oh, here comes my video bomber.
Oh, wait, this is the
Say hi,
daughter
Ray.
or
My daughter. There
hello?
you go. What do you need over here? Something. I'm live, baby. Okay, she's literally crawling under the desk. And yeah, what I need the blue remote. You need the blue remote. Yes. Oh my god. You mean this? Yes.
The one that was
Meanwhile,
no, I'm just kidding. That's okay. My dog left me. She'll probably come back in 5 minutes and cry that I haven't picked her back up yet. So, you have children
so
crawling, but I don't know where my child is, She's got free reign of the house though.
Oh, well, here comes one of my other ones. This is Mags the Destroyer.
Oh,
She's a pain in the ass. But I
well,
love
they
her.
all are, but they're so much fun.
They are. Well, this got derailed. Will you get out of here? I love you. Okay.
That's okay. It brought us to a segue for our next one. We hit Gish. Now I don't remember.
Yeah. Linda said hi, Rave. So what I wanted to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
how has Supernatural or the Supernatural family influenced your creativity?
Oh God, that is well. I can say that like when I look at my pieces and when I'm making something, I don't necessarily think about Like, I love when I look at a piece that you've made and I see the title, I see the character, and I can see all that in there. Supernatural hasn't done that for me where like I can envision the things that Supernatural is bringing me, but what it has done is it's given me more drive. I feel like how much drive the actors have to do good things, how much drive the all the artists like you that I've met through Supernatural at the conventions and just seen online, it's kind of made me go, well, why the hell aren't you doing what you enjoy? And it's made me appreciate because I also love to write. It's not something that I've explored professionally in a very long time. But I'm starting to again. So I work a full-time job. I have a dog. I have parents that I help out with all sorts of stuff. 2 nieces, an Etsy business, and I want to write a book. I mean, I just don't know what the I I'm
There's
single,
a
so
few
I have a
things going
lot of
on.
time.
Just a few things going on there.
It, as long as I don't have a partner, I'm good. So it's like all sorts of free time. But it hasn't necessarily influenced what I'm doing, but how I'm doing it. It's made me want to live a better life creatively. Does that make
It
sense?
it makes
I hope.
it does. It makes complete sense to me because even though I started branching off professionally doing this before the show, before I started watching, not before
Mm-hmm.
the show existed, but before I became aware of the show and started watching the show. It wasn't until after I became a fan of the show that my drive, like you mentioned, just catapulted. It really sent a message to live your life to the fullest and go after what makes you happy. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, you can't not and be a Supernatural fan to me. Like you just, that
Yeah.
message just screams to you, you know what I mean? And it
I
resonates
feel
with
like the
free
show
will.
does that to you. It's like when you watch the show, you can't help but feel that because the actors are, and even oh my god, the writing is fantastic, but how they deliver it's like, I mean, it's like a shot of adrenaline to like your creative centers. It's like get going. Just live your best life, and they embody that in everything they do. I feel like all their stuff, all of their campaigns, everything is fantastic. So what
I
was your
agree.
first Supernatural show? Do you remember?
Yes, it was New Jersey 2013.
Okay, no, I mean, that you watched. Do you
Oh,
remember what the first episode was?
I started from the beginning, but it was in
Okay.
2013. I had lost my job. I was laid off. I had actually set up my own job failure. I was working at a bank at the time, and the main project I was
Yeah.
working on was establishing a branch in Poland. And then as soon as we did that, my entire team got laid off.
Oh my god.
And wow, okay, well, and I already had my jewelry
Sometimes
business.
you do that. Sometimes it happens.
I'm like, hey, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. It was hilarious because I'm in the HR office with, my boss and the HR lady, and they're basically telling me, they're trying to give you the corporate mumbo jumbo, doing more with less and blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, do I have a job or not? And they're like, I'm sorry, but we have to let you go. We have to,
Mm-hmm.
we're laying off this division, blah, 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 blah.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
laughing so hard that they thought I was having a mental breakdown. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I thought I was stuck doing this shit. And no, but seriously, so what I wound up doing was when I got home that day, I turned on Netflix because I just needed to not think for a little
Mm-hmm.
while. And I'm flipping around trying to find something to watch. And then, I see this show called Supernatural. I'm like, oh, what is that? So I watched the pilot and I'm like, okay, 2 hot guys, I can deal.
Cool
And
car.
yeah, with a really, really nice car. I'm like, okay, I can watch this. And then I watched the next episode and the next and the next. And I binge watched as much as I
Mm-hmm.
could. I think I was caught up within like a month of everything. And this was in the beginning of 2013. So whatever
Yeah.
season they had been up to in 2013.
It's like season 8. Yeah,
Yeah, I had caught up.
that does not surprise me at all. And I think I started watching it a little before you did. And I didn't start with the pilot. The first one I watched was Sin City. It was the
Oh.
one where they go to this little town in Ohio, and there's like the gambling and the prostitutes, and I'm like, and at that point I was moving to Ohio, and I'm like, there's no town in Ohio like this. I don't care what anyone says. Like, okay, I realize it's a TV show. There's no town in Ohio like this. And I was like, wow, these guys are cool, and it wasn't my favorite episode because I felt like the ending was like Dean wasn't happy. And I'm like, is this how they all are? And then I slowly learned. So I actually didn't even like start watching the show right after that. I said, I don't know if this show's for me. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. And like I said, I was moving to Ohio. So that was actually one of the first things I did when I got there. So I think this was right around 2009. So for some reason I started in season 3, but I started watching in 2009. Binged it. Like I went to the movie store and rented the seasons. Yes, that's how long ago it was. I rented the seasons, and I think I was living alone, no friends. Watched it start to finish.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, up until wherever we were at that point.
Oops, sorry. Oh, Linda's saying Ohio is nice. I've lived here for 74 years.
Oh, I love Ohio. I do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. No, Linda. What Breanne is saying is that there was no town like what they were just showing.
Yeah. There's no Sin City in Ohio. I mean, there's some sketchy parts of Cleveland, but I lived right outside of Cleveland for almost 4 years, and honestly, it was some of the best. It was the most wonderful 4 years. Better than college, better than high school. Like, how people say, "Oh, college is the best years of your life," or "High school is the best years of your life." No, living completely on your own with no one else, and like just being able to be you, that is the best experience of your life. So I loved Ohio. I miss it. I miss my friends there. If it wasn't for my whole family, like my entire family being in Michigan, I don't think I would have left. But everybody's here, and my brother was getting married, and they were talking about having kids, and I wanted to be around for the nieces. And now I'm not even Auntie B. I'm just B because that's what she calls me. And that was worth it to come home. So, but I loved Ohio. I try to go back, and that's where I met you. I met you in Cleveland
That's
at the Giving Back
right.
tour.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
What time are we at? We are at 6:30. I think it might be
Wow.
a good time for a giveaway.
Yes. Okay. Where did my bee? Okay, so I'm going to give away a little bee like this to anybody who knows. And I looked this up according to Wikipedia, so I'm pretty sure it's right. Uh, does anybody know what year Gish began? What was the first year of the Gish hunt? Since today is the start of Gish.
Happy Gish Day.
Yes.
So the first person to respond correctly in the chat window will receive the prize that we
And I'm going to put a little keychain on it because that's actually what I use for my keys. And I used to lose my keys in my purse all the time. And once I put my little bee on it, I see them every time I look at my purse now. And I love it because when I make someone move my car, I have to hand them the bee, and they're like, okay. And it's adorable. So if anybody knows when the first year of Gish was, you will get a freebie.
Freebie! Pun intended. Always.
I did a thing there. You did a thing there.
Freebie! Somebody named Hacknologia wrote something I cannot understand. It. I'm not even sure what language that is. And it's not allowing me to translate it. Oh, Linda's responded with 2011. Is that correct?
Linda is correct.
Woo!
Is Linda the one from Linda's in Ohio, right?
Yes.
Okay, Linda, you're gonna get a special bee just because you live in Ohio. I'm gonna pick out my favorite bee and send it to you. So,
She's gonna make one that represents Sin City, Ohio.
oh, I should. I'm gonna go
That's
back and watch the episode and try to like weave something into the pattern. So
like a
I will check that
drunk
out.
bee.
Will Linda tell me or tell you what city she lives in?
Linda, are you okay with divulging that? I mean, I have your address. That's not a threat. That's a
No,
proof.
no, no, I'm just curious because
Everybody, here's Linda's personal address.
no, I live in Broadview Heights in Strongsville, and I was just south of Cleveland, and I loved it. Like I loved that area. So I'm curious if she's North Ohio, South Ohio, which.
I know the city name, but I don't know what part of Ohio.
Okay.
Linda, can I tell her? Can I tell everybody? I think Linda's still recovering from winning the bee.
Okay. Well, that's okay. Well, wherever you are, Linda. Well, when you get the bee, you'll have my address, and then we can talk food and stuff like that. Because that was,
Yeah.
I think, one of my favorite things about living in Ohio was the food. I mean, everything
Really?
there. Yeah. Well, Michael Simon, he has 2 restaurants there. Well, I think he has one because one of them burned down, kitchen fire, and I don't know if he's rebuilt yet. Well, then he's got like the B spot, but that doesn't count. And just the food is so good in Cleveland, and where I live too. There was this little it was this little goth bar. It was so cool. So at the time I had no tattoos on my arms. My hair was long and completely normal colored. I was the most vanilla person that ever walked into that bar. And I loved it. And I mean, everybody was super nice there, but that was in Broadview Heights, which is like almost the sticks, So it was really neat to have. It's just it's so unique there. It really is. So that's why I was curious. So I could, if I knew where Linda lived, I was going to tell her all my favorite places.
Okay, she's saying that it's Salina, which is Midwest near the Indiana border.
Okay, I didn't get over there that much. Every once in a while, I would kind of hang out in Toledo, but not that far over. So I don't know any good food places. Now I'll have to make a road trip. Well, congratulations, Linda. I'm going to send you an awesome bee with a keychain, and then you'll always be able to find it in your bag or wherever you put your keys.
Yeah, you can just like open your bag and see this cute little fat bee.
So, or if you're like me, open like the huge tote bag and go, where the fuck is it? And start feeling around for anything that's squishy.
Exactly. Hey, it'll stand out.
It does. It does.
Wow. So what direction do you see your shop taking? Do you think that this is something you'd eventually like to have as a full-time thing going? Or is it something you want to still be strong, but still be, like a side business?
In my ideal life, I would love to make things all day long and sell them and make people happy. And I mean, obviously, there's a charitable aspect of this right now
Yes.
because I work full time, and I'm lucky enough where with my full time job, I have benefits. It's a day job, so I get to come home, make my dinner, do what I want. Single with no kids and a dog that just wants to cuddle. Like I don't have all the responsibilities that other people do. So like right now, being able to come home and just do this, it's wonderful. In my ideal world, I would love to be able to create things all day long, whether I create in writing or I create with my hands or with beads. That would be like the ideal job. It wouldn't be a job. It would just be the best life ever. So that's why I'm starting to be more noticeable on social media. Like I'm responding to people more. I'm putting myself out there. I'm actually using it, which is, anybody who knows me, like I have friends on Facebook who are like, oh, you don't go on Facebook for 5 years and now you're posting stuff on Facebook. I'm like, well, that's how it works, and So yeah, that would be my ideal. But again, being single, you gotta have the health insurance, and that's one thing that's tough, So unless I wrote the next great American novel, which in Gish they do want us to do that this week. But
Oh,
I don't.
in a week. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I don't think I'm
really
gonna get to
awesome.
that one, but unless I do, that's I at least have the I work for a great company who really cares for their employees, and I get time to do this, so I can't complain at the moment. But yes, I would love to have this take off and have people wearing my jewelry, and have people feeling how I feel when I wear your stuff. That's what I would like.
That's a
And I
huge
told you that
thing.
earlier. I actually I brought a stack of Eldwin stuff because this was the first piece I bought from you. And I'm telling you, the first day I wore it, I had so many people stop me in my office and go, "Oh my God, it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, I have to take a look at that. Oh, did you make that? Who made that?" And I'm telling them, and then I think it was a little while before I got the next one. I don't know if I ordered or if I bought stuff. I know I bought stuff in Seattle. But then it was the same thing with those. People were just like stopping me. "Oh my gosh, that's so beautiful." And on days where I was having like really bad days, I would wear the Jared's Compassion necklace. Because that one, like, it's just like the color and the clarity of it. It's just so pretty. And now I have my own, which I don't think I've mentioned yet. But here,
No,
let me take it off and show it a little closer. This is Breanne. So that one was made just for me, and I absolutely love it, and it's so intricate, and it does. Everybody notices it and makes it. It just feels so good to have it on. So
oh, thank you. I appreciate
thank you. I'm also, if people are watching and they're not subscribers to your monthly subscription yet, I don't know why they're not, because you've given me such cool pieces. The last piece you gave me literally made me cry, and what you wrote in it, I was literally the way. So the way I opened it was, I'd ordered a few things from you, and I'm like, "Oh, this one's so cool," and then I'm like, "Oh, the next one's so cool," and then I get to the monthly one, and I open it and I read what you wrote, and I just started falling. And it was right after I opened the shop, and like my first month expired and nothing sold. And I'm like, "That's cool." And like, I think I was having a bad day at work or something. And then I opened Breanne, and I was just like, "Oh," I my dog came and cuddled me, and we just had a little, like, jewelry party on my bed as I was looking at everything and enjoying everything. So I mean, it's so nice to get that every month from you. It's just awesome. I
Thank
keep gonna
you.
renew it for as long as I'm employed.
Thank you. Oh, Linda's also saying that she loves the subscription service. Thank you, Linda. I thank you. I really, really appreciate that. It's um I take a lot of pride in doing it, and it's also, a really fun challenge for me because everybody gets something different every month. So every month I'm coming up with all of these, like, I never repeat these designs. They're all one hit wonders. So it keeps me on my toes, and
I don't know
to
how
know
you
that
do
you're
that
appreciating
either. For
it.
so many people in one month to create a new design. And I mean, I don't know if every single one is like the message that I got in mine. I I don't know if like you I don't know where that came from, but it was like exactly what I needed to hear. And so like there's like there was like a little like psychic angel telling you what I needed to hear. But like to have that and to do that for each person, very unique and very impressive. And like that, I think that was a real kick in the ass for me too. Again, where it was like, okay, what you got a whole stack of jewelry? Go list it. So get on it.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you. It's I like what I like, and I think probably everybody who's watching is a fan of yours, and we know what we like. I know what the kind of things I want to spend my money on, and the way your jewelry makes me feel. That's what I want to spend my money on. So hopefully someday people will be saying that about my stuff too. That's
I
my
know
goal.
they will. I absolutely know they will. I keep, my
Hope so.
eyes keep getting drawn to the piece behind you that with the triangles.
These here,
Can
I'll
you
pull that one a little
talk to
closer
us
because
about that? Because I am so in love with that.
well, you know what? Because especially because you've given me so much, I'm gonna send you one of these because it's so cool. Yeah, you're gonna get one of these. So you can see the sorry, I have messages coming through, so I can't see like where my camera is. But I did all the chevrons on the inside. I did the fringe. So I just bought the triangles plain. There was nothing inside of them, and I did all
Oh,
that
lift
on
it
the
up
inside.
more.
I'm sorry.
Oh, you have to lift it up more. There we
Oh,
go. Because we're
there
rolling
we go.
fast.
So,
Okay.
and the one I have is a little different because I have different colors of the chevron beads. So I'll send you some pictures. Oh, there you go. I'll send you some pictures and let you pick out which one.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. It's beautiful.
Thank you for
It's
liking
absolutely
it.
beautiful.
And then you'll have something of mine. And if you wear it, you can be like, oh my God, it's Breezy Strings and Things. Just like I do with you all the time.
Exactly. Exactly. We can promote.
I
Promote.
like that. So, and you know, in this actually, so I have two versions. I have the one with the fringe that everybody just saw that I'm going to send to you. And then I call it the teeth. I have, these have they're a little different. They're triangle-ish, but oh, there we go. Little teeth like. And, if anybody can remember what the first episode of Supernatural that I watched myself was, I will let you pick whether you get the teeth or the fringe, and I will send it to you. So, does anybody remember what my first episode was?
The first person to correctly answer what the first episode of Supernatural Breanne ever watched was will get their pick of either her tooth necklace or her fringe necklace.
And if
Your teammate nailed it.
which
Sarah
one?
Armstead. Sarah
Sarah?
Armstead. Mm-hmm.
Yay,
She said Sin
Sarah!
City.
Perfect.
Winner,
Okay,
winner.
Sarah, I'm gonna get with you, and we're gonna figure out which one you want. And you know what? Like I was telling Jody, I have other colors of the little. There we go. Of the little ones in here. So if you don't want the plain gold, we'll talk about it, and I'll do the same with you. So we'll make it happen. We'll get everybody what they want. So, and these are not in my shop yet, but they will be. So, and actually, the teeth will probably be in tomorrow because well, unless Sarah wants the teeth, but if she wants the fringe, one of these will be in the shop in the next day or two. So,
Very, very
yay!
exciting. And so what I'm going to do, and I should have done this earlier, is put the link to your shop in the description of the video. So I will make sure that that happens when the video is posted to my channel, and that way people can just click on that and they can go right to your shop and see.
Wonderful. I like that. And if
Yeah.
anybody has questions, I don't have a custom spot yet, but I know that you do custom orders. I'm certainly happy to do custom things because you can't see it up here. Like even with my amigurumi, I'm making something that's good for babies.
Oh,
So
that's
little
adorable.
flowers, bees, and again, I'm not going to be profiting off these. This is actually a recycled hanger, but the rest I made. I'm like, what can I use that is fairly inexpensive? And I'm like, wire hangers. Everybody hates wire hangers. Let's make them cool again.
I was
Um,
just about to make a really inappropriate joke, but I won't.
oh,
Um,
I know where your mind is going, and yeah, we'll talk about that
Faye
later.
Dunaway.
But like anything that people buy of these is going to go, like I said, to either children's like medical research or depending on what kind of situation I know people are in. Like if I know a family who's going through something, what I get is going to go to help them. So it's going to be a little bit of outreach, on my part, but also, just some flat out donations. So not a charity, but I'm doing what I can to help people. So
That's wonderful. That's
thank
wonderful. I mean,
you.
it means so much, and to do something, to help somebody else by doing something that you love.
Hmm.
There's a family, there's a couple, Matthew and Melinda Blick, and I've mentioned them before in my Periscope videos. They're in the process of trying to adopt a child.
Yes.
They can't have their own children, and as they're going through this process, it's becoming exorbitantly expensive. Like the legal fees are crippling. And so, I created a design that I'm selling specifically just to help them. um, so again, like you're saying, it's not a charity specific piece, and but it's helping someone, so
Yeah.
it still makes me feel good, and
It does. It makes you feel good. It makes it makes the people know that they're cared about, and that, you know, that people care enough of what's going on in their life.
yeah,
So it's every little thing can change the world that we do. Every little act of kindness. And I try to live that way. You can never be completely successful. Every once in a while, people you can be a bitch. Well, I can be. Not you, but I can be. But I really try my hardest to do things that can help others. I'm not always successful, but I try, and I'm working. Like I said, I'm single, so I have a lot of time. I'm also looking to become a volunteer, mostly with a LGBTQ plus youth group in Detroit, and hope. Well, if I volunteered with an animal shelter, I would just end up like a cat lady,
bringing
and
them
I would.
all home.
Yeah, so right now I'm gonna stick with people until I have my own place where I don't have to worry about other people coming in and out. Then we'll think about that.
Awesome, awesome. So we still have about 10 minutes
I know
left.
we've talked a long time. This has flown by, and I was so nervous. I'm like, oh my god. Okay, I obviously talk a lot. I mean, if you can't tell.
Yeah, but it's all good,
But I was sitting here beforehand, and I'm like, what am I gonna say? Oh my gosh, I don't. I'm gonna like clam up, and I'm not gonna know anything to say. And all of a sudden, we've been talking for 50 minutes, and I feel like we've just been going. So it's wonderful. I will try to pedal one more
Yes,
thing I
please.
have. And I say pedal because I'm doing a paddle race. So it's for people who follow me on Twitter. Because I'm trying to be better for the earth and better for people and do fundraising. I did my first 5K in June, and holy shit, was that hard. I walked, and I was exhausted. I mean, seriously, I came home, I did the 5K in the morning. I came home, there was a thunderstorm. I took a nap, and that was it. Like literally, I'm like, what am I gonna do for the rest of the day? I'm like, oh, it's raining. Let's go back to bed. I was wiped out. So I definitely need to start. Like I need to get like a treadmill for while I craft. Maybe that would help. But I signed up to do a paddleboard race at the end of August. So I need to get my core in shape. It's a virtual race, and it's through WWF, the World Wildlife Foundation, and there's a link on my Facebook page. Oh, I wonder if I can put something on my Etsy too. Maybe just a little blurb, if people want to donate, kind of like with Matt and Melinda's foundation.
Yeah, put it in your shop announcement.
That's a good idea. So that's one other thing I'm doing, and I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm the klutziest person in the world. If anything, it's just going to end up being a comedy video of me falling off the board every 5 minutes. But if people want to donate $25 to see me do that, that's okay. Like it really is cool. So
But you said it's a virtual race, so how does that work?
I'm not 100% sure yet, because I think what you do is it's all on the same day. So everybody's going out on these paddle boards on the same day. And I think you just log your time and how far you went. And that's really it. And it's really just more about raising the money and then being out on the water. Like I don't think like you're not going to get anything extra if you go farther, like in a 5K. Like they're not going to give you something extra if you win, which I wouldn't try for anyways because no. And So it's really more just about raising the money and then going out there and doing it and being on the water and showing your support for I the WWF does so much for animals. I research them. I do research the charities that I support, and 84% of their money goes back to conservation. So I'm like, okay, I'll do this one, you know. So that's why I chose them. Same with the place I want to volunteer for down in Detroit, the Ruth Ellis Center. Um, I don't know the percentage, and I wish I could say it but numbers aren't my thing. But almost everything they get goes right to the youth that they're helping, and they're getting a brand new building, a place for these, you know, kids to hang out and to be themselves. And they have I just donated like 6 bags of clothes, because when you're a trans kid, do you know how hard that is to go shopping? I mean, just to walk into just to walk into a store and pick stuff out. So I really researched where I'm going, and both of those two are fantastic. So yeah, I'm doing that too. So if anybody wants to donate,
You could put
I'll
that
be
in
putting
your
that
shop
all over
announcement
Twitter.
too. Seriously. Yeah.
I will.
And
I'm
that way
definitely
you
going
get
to
the
do
word out. And what you could even do is if you have pieces that are specific to, you know, like if I sell X amount of these, I'm going to take X amount and donate it to this, you know, cause or that cause. Put it in the item description also.
item, you know, and there's item groupings, kind of like how you have yours, you're separated by like special pieces, supernatural. I didn't even think about that. I'm getting a whole Etsy lesson here. I love it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to ask you too, because I mean, this is your show, and I've talked to you about, you know, supernatural and how you got involved with it. Um, is there anything you want to share?
I've been told I overshare.
I do too, and I've actually been pretty good today. I feel like I've kept it on track today. You know, I haven't gone off the rails too hard, so that's good. But I know you just had your big contest, which
I did.
I won again. I hate to say again, but you know what? I think I don't know if I mentioned this earlier or while we've been talking, but there was pieces in there that I hadn't seen, so I just had to have them, and so I know I got entered a few extra times because I kept buying, and
But hey, you know, I really appreciate, you know, that you feel that strongly about my work. It really does mean a lot to me. And I was
well, and obviously you must have had at least 7 other people, because you had winners for everything,
I
and
did.
it sounds like there was enough like random names that you know you had people who might not have
I
got it.
You know, it's funny
But go ahead.
because there were 8 prizes, you know,
Hmm.
5 grand prizes and then the 3 runners up, and there were maybe 12 names.
Oh my goodness.
It was between 12 and 14 names at the most, and then it became, you know, well, you know, there were the thresholds. If you spent between
Hmm.
this and this, then it's one chance, and so on and so forth. So there was still a fighting chance amongst
Yeah.
even though the number of names was small, some people had more chances than others based on what, you know, their thresholds were. So yeah, I mean, it was so funny because when I'm using I think I told you this. I'm like, I'm
Hmm.
using the random name picker app to choose the winners, and you know, I picked, you know, third runner up, second runner up, first runner up, and then the 5 grand prize winners, and then I hit the, you know, select name. One name comes up. Select name again. Second name. Select name. Third name. Like, I think Breanne has more chances in here than anybody else, and her name's not coming up. Isn't that weird? Select name. The 4th name comes up, and then boom, the 5th name and final name for the grand prize. Brianna's name came up. I'm like, okay, that makes sense to me now, because I'm like, how in the law of averages is this not working? But
You know, obviously every once in a while I just get lucky. Like it's not, I don't know if it's like the good vibes I put out. I mean, like I said, they're not all good vibes, but sometimes I try to put mostly good vibes out. But I mentioned to you in our email, and I'll tell everyone here. So I'm getting to visit you at the Jacksonville show, which I am so excited for. And I'm speaking with you now, which is so cool. We're going to have that jewelry lesson. One thing that I recently just did, and I should have worn the shirt, but my room's a hot mess doing Gish right now. I got front row seats to Peter Frampton, not through a third party seller, through Ticketmaster. Like, so
Ticketmaster's still around? Holy shit.
Yeah,
Sorry.
You can actually go get in line still at certain places. It's crazy. Peter Frampton was my parents' wedding song, and surprisingly, they are still okay. I shouldn't say surprisingly. They've been married for 30. How old am I? 38 years. So they've been married for 38 years. They have 3 kids. They have 2 grandkids. They're coming on their 4th grand dog, so they've created this crazy family, and they're 2 crazy people, and I love them to death. It's I don't know if I mentioned, but when I moved back from Ohio, I moved in with them, and it was supposed to be a temporary situation. I'm still here, but it works out because my dad's had 2 surgeries. My mom's going to have a surgery, so I've kind of turned into their unofficial caregiver, and they also get meals cooked for them like twice a week, so they're cool with it. And I'm cool with it because I get to live here. My dog's the happiest thing in the world, because she gets to be wherever she wants with everyone, and I wanted to give them something really cool. So I got the tickets, and when the row came up, I literally flipped out because I'm like, this never happens, never. And we were smack middle of the row. My mom made a sign that says, "Thank you for our wedding song." Peter Frampton signed it. A roadie came, grabbed the sign, had him sign it. And so we're going to frame it and put it on our wall.
Are you shitting me?
No, he signed it.
The sign and then sent someone to grab it so we could sign it.
So during the break, like when he did before the intermission, a roadie came out and grabbed it real fast, and then he came back on. But when she held up the sign, he looked right at them and he winked. And my mom, like, almost like, just go with it. And so Peter Frampton's watching my parents because they're actually being like just like a romantic couple, and and my dad leans over and kisses my mom, and I see him just like smile, and I'm like, oh my god, he sees my parents, and yeah, and then he signed. He that was the only sign that he signed that night, and it was the best show I've ever seen. He played Black Hole Sun, which he did an acoustic version of, which makes me cry every time he does it. He played his last song was As My Guitar Gently Weeps, George Harrison, which
yes!
I mean he makes that guitar sing when he does it, and it was his final tour. So I feel like I've really been knocking on wood, hitting the jackpot lately with certain things, but a lot of it's been for other people at least. So I just gotta keep those good vibes coming.
Yeah, because it comes back. Whatever you're putting out there does come back to you. So
Yes.
That's some nice stuff.
Yeah, so that was my really cool rock story, and I got to lean on the stage. Like they didn't even have security guards. I know, it was like 1975. I'm leaning on the stage, getting all excited. If there's a video, I'm gonna be front and center, and I'm gonna be looking like an idiot, but that's okay.
Oh my god! Wow, that is epic.
It was really cool.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I've had a pretty good week.
It sounds like.
Yeah. I hope your week's been good too. And now it doesn't sound like you participate in Gish, but you're going to have, it all happening around you. So I'm sure all of the fans are going to be nuts for the next week. So.
I know. I did do Gish a couple of times. The last time I did it was a few years ago, and I specifically had signed up with a non-competitive team. Like I wanted like the least amount
just for the fun of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had asked to be a part of a team that was like really laid back.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't. And it was not a good experience for me at all.
Oh
So I just decided I am not gish material, but
no, that's
I
okay.
have utmost respect for those who can gish it, and gish it hard, because I get the impression that the chubby unicorns are hardcore. Are you guys
Yeah.
like a hardcore team?
Yes, it's so funny how much communication we've had in one. I have never been on Facebook Messenger so much in my life. So it's impressive that they're keeping me that you know uh into it, but also that I've been able to communicate that much, because usually after like a couple messages I'm like, I'll check it later, and now I'm like, what's next? I'm getting all excited and ready for each new
Ding,
thing.
ding, ding.
And even Sarah, who's our captain, the winner of the necklace, she said, "Hey, you're good at upcycling," and she kind of like, I don't want to say assigned me something, but she goes, "Take a look at this one," and I'm like, "Oh my god, how am I going to do that?" And within like half an hour, I had ideas for everything. I'm like, "Wow, she just did that. She just made my creative center work, and it wasn't before." So it's really cool. We're all suggesting things and really helping each other out, and yeah, I think we'll at least I think we got a good shot. I think we're gonna do
That's
good. Yeah,
awesome.
12 hours
Good.
in and I am confident.
Linda wrote she did gish once and that was enough. Well, it like I was saying, it's pretty hardcore. Like I remember the first year I had done it, I had to do something. It was the year Leonard Nimoy passed.
Oh.
And so we were trying to think of a tribute to do for Leonard Nimoy. And so I had done like a wire sculpture of the this.
The Vulcan, yeah.
And it came out so horrible. It was like the worst thing I ever did in my life. How they didn't throw me the fuck off the team is a testament to their patience.
Okay,
But
first of all,
yeah,
this is
it's
hard
like
for some people just to do, but to make a wire sculpture, I can only
I
imagine. Now, hold
yeah,
on, is it in or out?
I think it's out.
Out?
Is it?
I I haven't
I should
watched it in a
know
while.
this, but
Hmm.
I never paid attention to thumb placement.
I need to. No, I was watching Harry Potter earlier because I did not watch. Okay, so I finally said I have to watch Harry Potter. It's only been 20 years since the books came out. I binged the books and the movies in less than a month. And I'm rewatching them because I felt like I went through them so fast. So I was watching Harry Potter, but now I'm going to switch back to Star Trek because I have to know where it goes.
Yeah, that's got. We have to figure that out. Does anybody
Yeah,
know
I could Google it,
proper
but I
thumb placement is?
these are important questions.
This will literally keep me up tonight. I'm not kidding you.
We'll be Googling it 2 in the morning.
Thumb out. Linda says thumb out.
I'm out. Okay. Oh my God, I've been doing it wrong, I think, my whole life. So, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Linda looked it up. She said, looked it up.
Thank you, Linda.
Oh, Sarah said, I believe it's out. Thank you, Sarah. We're getting confirmation. This would have been a disaster. I would have been doing a Periscope tomorrow with like snot hanging out of my nose, like this kept me up. Is it like this or like this? Yeah, it would have been bad.
Breanne was awesome until the end when she talked about the thumb. And
I never knew that it was a thing. Now I realize it's a thing.
that's how my brain works. I'm like, wait, which way?
Oh,
I'm glad we know the answer now. So I take it you're doing a Periscope in the morning?
I might. It
All
depends
right.
on how much coffee I've not had yet.
Oh, I've been off coffee because I've had some medication and stomach issues. Do you know how hard that is?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, I need it intravenously.
I usually have 3 to 4 cups. Like I'll start with like 2 and then I'm like, maybe I'll have another. So it's been 4 days. And okay, I have a lot of energy right now because I got a little adrenaline. We're gonna see how tomorrow morning goes. We might slowly start introducing it back. I think I need it.
May the force be with you, because I seriously, a day without coffee, and I get the withdrawal headaches from it, and I don't
Yeah.
have
The
it.
brain fog. Yeah.
Yes, it's bad. So bad. So like when you see, and I'm doing a Periscope and I'm like getting tongue tied or I can't complete a sentence, it's literally because I have not had enough coffee yet. It's that pathetic.
But you tell us, so it's okay.
I do. I own it. I totally own it. Like, yeah, I didn't drink enough coffee. Fuck it. I don't care if I'm live. What?
You're one of the few people that I have as like alerts on my phone for Twitter, because like if you're releasing a new necklace, I really want to see it. So like I'll get your periscopes, and sometimes I'll be at work listening to music, so I'll just throw on your periscope and it'll just look like I'm listening to music, but I'm really listening to you. And
Oh no, I'm sorry.
No, I know. It makes it even more interesting, and I will. You'll be like, I need more coffee, and then I'll go, yeah, I probably do too. Like you can hear me, So, so when you say that, just know that in my head, I'm saying the exact same thing. I'm probably getting up to go get some once I can have it again.
We feel it. We feel each other there.
Yeah.
Yes, we're caffeine sisters. It's funny because I work a lot with Janet,
Mm-hmm.
my partner. I remember the first time we met, or the first time we were working together or something, and she had said, I don't drink coffee. And I said, how do you put those words together in a sentence? Because I didn't think that existed. But she gets her caffeine. She definitely gets her caffeine, but
I was gonna say, how do you function without that? I feel like it's like a little spark, like I need that spark to wake my brain up. I don't know how people do it. I mean,
there is nothing better than the first sip of coffee,
mm-hmm.
right? It's like, wow, the world.
Either piping hot or ice cold. One or the. I mean, on like a 95-degree day, I will have iced coffee, and it's just as
That's
good.
the only time I will.
Yeah, I prefer it hot, straight out of wherever I'm getting it from. And yes, I completely agree. I'll bring you coffee when I see you in Jacksonville.
Yes, caffeinate the vendors, please.
Oh, you'll see me coming in with 2 cups, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, one of them's mine."
I remember it was so bad. I was doing a show, and normally at least I'll have one of my friends there with me or something. Not necessarily with me behind the table, but at least as an attendee, or even one of the creation people. But my friend that works for creation wasn't there, and like I was literally by myself. Nobody I knew was attending, and so I just put out on Twitter, anybody attending this show right now, if you bring me coffee, I will be so fucking grateful. And I run up like 5 cups of coffee within like a half an hour. It was like amazing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I will be your coffee buddy in Jacksonville. If there's a Starbucks around, I will frequent, and I will help you out there. Because you actually, like, when I found out that I won that, so after Seattle, I was salty. I think we were all salty, and because that was my one and only time. Like I didn't plan on doing another one. Like that was going to be it. So I'm like, literally, I don't want to say that it like knocked me off the Supernatural train for a while, but for like, I didn't watch the next couple episodes. Like I DVR'd them, and I'm like, I just can't right now. Like I'll wait until I'm ready. And then you happened, and then they made the announcement, like the that the season was ending, and I'm like, well, fuck it. Now I gotta, I need to like be on it again. And I did. But I mean, you kind of like brought me back into the fold, because I was just, when something like that happens and you're a fan and like you lose out on that experience, it's hard.
It's rough. I get it. Even like, even the vendors, we were kind of like, oh damn.
Yeah. Well, you fly out there too. Yeah, you fly out there. You take.
That's one of the few places I fly to.
Mm-hmm.
It's way beyond my driving mojo.
Yeah.
But so we were all kind of like knocked on our butts with it, and it's the state declared a state of emergency, so there was no other choice. We had to close. So, we were trying to make the best out of it. And
Yeah.
what was really funny is because, usually us vendors, we don't, we are in the vendors room all day and then
Mhm.
we go back to our rooms and crash. And we were like, we have nothing to do. We have nothing to do. So, a bunch of us,
Yes.
we went to the first Starbucks ever. We're like, oh my God, look at that. We can sightsee. We went, and we went to Pike Place,
Oh yeah.
and they had what they claimed to be the oldest comic book store in the country there.
Oh.
It was, I was in heaven. I
I
was in
okay.
heaven.
I didn't go there. I went to the market because I got there Wednesday night, or Thursday morning. I can't remember, but I got there a day early so I could go and sightsee because I'd never been. So I walked all over the city. I took the ferry across. Like I did everything I wanted to do. And I'm from Michigan, like just outside of Detroit, where I mean, like we get like ice, like that's like Tuesday for us,
Yeah.
like 6 months out of the year. So I even kind of made a joke to someone. I'm like, just throw some salt down and deal with it. And like, I didn't mean to sound that snotty, but I was like, this is not a state of emergency. And the lady who was near me was like, well, we live near the, what did she say? We live near a body of water that's not salted. So if we put salt down, it's going to run into the lake. And I'm like, I live in Michigan. We're surrounded by lakes and we use salt all the time. I'm like, putting salt down is not going to cause your lake to be a salt lake. So
Oh my
it was
God.
one of the funniest things I've ever heard. And I didn't want to like, I was already pissy and I didn't want to be that person. So I just said, yeah, I don't think that'll happen, and just walked away.
Well, I'm originally from New Jersey, right?
Oh,
Where, oh my God, it snowed 6 inches. We'd still be walking our asses to school. Who gave
yes.
a shit? Nobody gave a shit. If it was a foot, maybe they'd say, okay, there's a 2 hour delay.
Yeah, so we got wind chill. That's it. They don't care about snow here. Wind
Wind
chill. It's
chill.
like if it was below zero, then they might call it. And when I lived in Ohio, it was even worse because I was in the snow belt. I lived, and Linda will understand. I lived between two hills.
Okay.
So actually, I was on a hill, and then I had to go up two hills both ways to get out. And this is when I had my little itty bitty teeny tiny Malibu. And one day I'm going up the hill and I start sliding backwards. I'm like, oh, this is going to end really bad. And I ended up making it up the hill, but I've never heard my engine try so hard. It was like the little engine
Oh,
that could.
wow.
And, but I mean, nothing was closed. Nothing was canceled. They were like, everybody was just getting up the hill just slowly. So yeah, Seattle was rough, but like I said, then you happened. And I was like, it was like, better.
Well, I'm glad. Thank
Me
you.
too. And we got to do this, and I got a beautiful necklace, and I can't wait to like interact with you again and do some more jewelry making. And I am doing jewelry making with Jody in Jacksonville. I bought a ticket because I had to. So
Well, I promise you that our one-on-one lesson will not be what we're going to be doing for the jewelry with Jerry.
okay,
We'll be doing something different.
cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Because I've never done it this way where, like, aside from, like, I used to teach jewelry design when I was living in New Jersey. I used to teach at a gallery there in Hoboken.
Oh, that's
And,
so
I did
cool.
that. It was fun. It was fun. But it wasn't until I started doing the workshops that I really started to do it and really truly enjoy it and have more of that hands-on with everybody. And
Mhm.
it's a much better experience, and I've never done one virtually, so this is going to be a lot of fun and a big learning experience. And yes, you're my guinea pig. And
Awesome.
yeah,
I'll totally go first if you want me to, or I can totally go last.
yeah,
Either one.
whatever
If you need
you want to do.
if you need a guinea pig, I mean, okay, the bad and good thing about me is I have jewelry experience. So like when you're like open the hoop, I'll know what to do, or
Yeah,
whatever terms you use. Where somebody who maybe has never picked up a pair of pliers,
exactly. Well, that's
they're going to
part
be
of
like,
what I gauge whenever, like when I do the jewelry with Jody workshops. One of the first things I say is, okay, so who here
yeah.
has any jewelry making experience? And if I see some hands go up, I'm like, oh shit, and I gotta watch what I say. I gotta make sure I'm right. I always want to make sure I'm right. Let me just put that out there.
Well, let me tell you,
Trying to be funny.
I am completely self-taught. I've never taken a class, and okay, so since Pinterest and YouTube, I've watched a few videos, but when I was younger and like I realized that I had an interest in making things, I didn't go to classes. I was in school. I was doing shit. I was busy. So I would just play around. Like I started with my grandma's vintage jewelry that didn't fit me. And how do I add extra jewelry on to make it work? How do I take something that's 1960s and make it so that I can wear it in the 90s? It shows how early it was when I started. And even now, that's one of my favorite things to do is to take vintage jewelry and make them a little more a little newer so that we can continue to wear them and they don't just get tossed aside. But so, that 10 years ago, I'd have been like, wait, you want me to do what? And I've just gotten better at it, and I've just understood a little more. So, but
What's
yeah,
been
self-taught. So we'll all be fine doing it online.
Well, I mean, it's something that I feel really strongly about too, because I'm self-taught as well. And I mean, when I was, okay, so now we'll show you how old I am, taking vintage stuff and trying to make it something that you could wear in the 80s. Okay. So like I was always people would give me jewelry when I was a teenager and I'd take it apart and make something else out of it and whatnot. I've never watched
Oh my
a
God.
video
Me
or,
and you would have been such good friends if we would have lived
right?
together.
And I think that if, reading books and watching videos is good for like the core skills, like opening
Mhm.
and closing jump rings, how to properly, like close something or how to attach a clasp to something.
Mhm.
But when it comes to developing a style or a technique, I always feel that, being self-taught is ideal because you're not trying to emulate something else. You're
Yeah.
literally sitting there trying to figure something out on your own, and you're developing your own style and your own technique. And
You have a pile of stuff. Yeah, you have a
right.
pile of stuff and you have to make it, and you have an idea in your head or you have no idea. I mean, that's kind of how so I've kind of redone like my whole jewelry area and I kind of organized it by colors. And what I do now, I just dump out my complementary colors and I'm like, let's see what works. And that's how I do it. So, but it's always, how can I make this beautiful for someone? So, kind of like you said, it's figuring out how do you want it to look, and that's harder than people think.
It is. Especially, if you're hitting a slump, if you're hitting a
Mhm.
creative slump, it gets rough.
Yeah,
It gets a little bit rough, and I have to, step away and, clear my head a bit.
that's why
But
I have so many different things I do. Because when I'm in a creative slump, this is just a circle, and I make circles, and I just keep going around, and it's kind of repetitive. And then by the time I'm done, I'm like, oh, I can put a face on it, and like things are all of a sudden working again. So having like those different things for me is really helpful because then when my brain stops working, I have something that's, I don't want to say mindless because you have to count,
it's
obviously,
soothing. I
but it
understand that.
it helps.
I totally understand that. It's not mindless.
Yeah.
It's a repetitive motion. Like, for example, when I do pieces that have weaving in them, at times I'll find that
Oh
I zone
yeah.
out because
Mhm.
I'm like,
Yeah, like this piece. This piece is it's so intricately woven around, like on the outside. I was like studying it when I got it. I'm like, wow, how did you do that? That is so cool. And like looking at and how you did that. It was, I was just like I said, I was so impressed with the whole box. So I can't wait for
thank
my
you.
lesson. And so I know you said you usually go an hour, and we went over because we just keep chatting because we're having a lot of fun. So I don't know if your kids need you, but I don't.
I'm pretty okay. Well, my cat is in the closet.
Oh well.
All right, she's telling me, "Hi, Mags, come here." Okay, see you later. Oh no, now she wants to come out. Yeah,
My
that's
dog's
her way of
laying
telling me she's
on her
trying to get
quilt.
it eye level with me. And it is way too quiet out there. And that's when I need to be worried. I don't
Yeah.
hear anybody. So I'm like, what's going on? So yeah, I better check on them.
Well, this has been so much fun, and I'm
Thank
just
you.
I have had such a blast. I'm so happy that you're helping me get my name out there, and I could be part of this with you and do it. So get this with you because this is just everything's been awesome. I mean, I'm gonna be tweeting about it, and you're gonna see the link like everywhere, and yeah, I'm gonna tag you a lot in all my stuff.
Please
At least
do. Please
for
do.
this
I'd be happy
video.
to help promote you.
And I'm gonna keep, and I'm gonna keep taking pictures of the stuff I wear of yours because I think when people see it on, it's so different. It's really hard for people in a picture to
And
see,
I'm a
but
sucky
I mean it's
photographer at that. Dead serious. So like, yeah, when
that's a
people
hard
post
one.
pictures of themselves wearing my work, I appreciate that so much because it does give another dimension that I can't.
Okay. Well
So,
then if I start posting too much, just be like, Bree, knock it off. But
ain't no such thing.
I will continue to show off the work I'm wearing of yours. Because you just the pieces are I can't say enough good stuff about them, and I just appreciate you like helping me out and getting me going. It's a really good thing.
Well, thank you. And I appreciate you letting me. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to hang out.
Out of my Gish day.
Yeah, on Gish Day. So I will let you get back to being Gish-tastic.
Oh,
And
thank you. And I'll keep checking your Etsy shop for more pieces. And if you have any, more of those like retired pieces that I haven't seen, feel free to shoot me an email. I
Ooh,
like those.
okay. You don't have to tell me twice. I will definitely.
Well, have a wonderful night. Have fun with all of your children, and I will talk to you soon. And I'm sure you're going to
Yes.
see an order coming in probably like every 2 weeks. I don't know.
Well, thank you so much, Breanne. And again, the name of Breanne's shop is Breezy Things and Strings.
Strings and things.
Strings and things. Yes, I did not have enough coffee, I guess. But yes, Breezy Strings and Things. And I will put the link in the description of this video. And when I tweet out the link to the video, I will include the link to your shop as well.
Thank you so much.
So thank you. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
everyone who's been online, and I will get the addresses, or at least get Linda's address from you, because me and Sarah we're gonna work it out. So
Yes, and I have Linda's address. So I can provide
perfect.
that to you.
All right. Thank you. I'll talk to
Thank
you soon.
you.
All
Have
right,
a
you guys
good
have a
night.
good night.
Thank you everyone for watching. Have a great night.
Bye.
Bye.